I'm not. Okay, I want to clarify something really quick. For anybody who thinks that Josh Wheeler should not have gone number one, you're insane. Um, I mean, he's legit. Because I got like a lot of messages about that, like, well, why didn't you go number one? And frankly, I don't really care. I just want to play.
This started.
All right. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the 3 Up, 3 Down podcast. We're your hosts, Brian Hunter and Quentin Meyer. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this special episode. What we're going to be going through today is just kind of recap of our Season 5 2025 draft. We went 2 rounds, pretty much 16 picks, a little bit more than what we originally anticipated, but love to see because just how the league has developed and the rosters are now, most of the rosters for the most part now are all maxed out, which is great for players getting into the league and kind of, giving everybody a real shot. We still got a couple teams that are not fully maxed out yet, but that's, whether they're people that didn't get drafted or now free agents or free agents that didn't get re-signed, tons of things that can definitely happen between now and the beginning of the season. But no, man, I mean, the draft, from my perspective at least, it was a good time, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, we had a Buffalo Wild Wings in Wentzville, and a great room, great atmosphere. I mean, we were able to set everything up the way we wanted to, and it, not too shabby.
Yeah, no, it actually felt like a real draft this year. Buffalo Wild Wings actually felt like you were at a draft. Sitting in the crowd. We weren't in the crowd. We had our own little spot, but we had the TVs, so we had the draft logo, and then
Draft board.
Like a board. That was
an interactive draft board to be able to have, so everybody could see where the pick was, or if somebody wasn't around. It was neat. I'm glad we got that up and running.
Yeah,
because I know that was a last minute kind of addition kind of thing.
That was a good addition. I really wish we got the live stream working with what we originally planned with the with the podium, the Sam, and then us, kind of like a analysis, but. Everything can't go to plan, but it worked out.
Yeah, we made it work, and now we get to bring you our special edition podcast. So, with all means, we'll kind of get into it. So, first round, and I would say probably the biggest shock of the entire draft, would be the Kings taking Josh Wheeler at 1.
Yeah.
We're going to get to talk with Wheeler here in a little bit, just kind of about his experience and everything that way. But, I mean, everybody going in the draft, we thought it was going to be Brody and James, going 1-2, but Josh Wilden's way there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I said it in the Kings podcast. I think it was the Kings podcast. I said it in a podcast. I think it might have been the Kings one. He's the hardest worker everyone in this draft. I mean, from where he started to where he is now, I mean, it was a shocker to me. My jaw still hasn't come off the floor at Buffalo Wild Wings, but I can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good time kind of learning that because, dude, that whole place erupted. I mean, if you haven't already gone back and watched the draft video, by all means, go back and watch the draft video because I was so happy to see it and hear it.
Yeah.
And for multiple reasons, but I mean, happy for Josh. Spent a lot of time talking with Josh. When I'm with the Thunderbirds having that number 2 pick, I had to do my due diligence. So, I spent time talking with him, with Josh and with Brody. But it was great to see it. But number 2, Brody Livingston falls, to the Thunderbirds. Like following me on social media, we got our guy. Brody was the one that we targeted from the very beginning. I guess it's not fair for me to give my own personal feelings, but Brody's the guy that the Thunderbirds kind of needed a bat, got an arm and a bat, and in all reality, one of the best available in the country right now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's kind of a big win for Mo WIFF, big win for the Thunderbirds. I mean, in all reality, respectfully to your mojo, we're coming for you.
Yeah, man, I love to hear it. I'm all for competition. I love winning, but I hate free wins. I want everything to be earned in this league, and now you drafting Brody has made a good team great. I mean, but, I've heard it all around the country. He's one of the best young hitters in the country. He's 20, 21 years old. I mean, at the winter workout, he took a 98-mile-per-hour riser to the soccer fields. Not legitimately, we weren't at Miracle Field, but figuratively, he took it to the soccer fields. But
I was about to say because we were on a soccer field.
We were on a soccer field, But I mean, he took it to like midfield.
Dude, he blasted it right up the middle, and I mean, it was.
It was a bomb, and
Oh darn!
yeah,
Got somebody that can hit a 98-mile-an-hour riser.
and you know what? It's hard. That's a hard pitch to
tell
hit.
me he went up and got it.
Yeah,
But with that third pick, fell into the Archers' lap and like a nice gift wrap present. James Klein falls to the Archers, having to make up for Jordan leaving and going to the Melonheads. They needed somebody they could count on. James is still learning how to pitch and learning how to throw a little bit more consistently when it comes to actually, hitting the strike zone and stuff. But, I mean, in all reality, when you're talking probably some of the highest raw wiffle ball talent we had in the draft, James is definitely right up there. I mean, these three picks could have been interchanged, these top three, 1, 2, 3, just with how just the work ethic and the abilities that that they have, that all three of them have, was just absolutely fantastic.
yeah. I mean, sorry to interrupt you, but I was gonna forget it. They compensated the best I think I've ever seen. You lose a 2-time MVP, 2-time Cy Wiffle, and then you get a 16-year-old phenom just sitting right there for you at 3.
Yeah, I mean, risk reward. Unfortunately, wasn't able to sign it. Sign Jordan. And Rory must have had somebody looking out for him. In the Archers, so that way James fall to him. But one of my favorite picks of the first round is going to be Chandler Melton falling to 4 to the Mambas, and we'll get into a little bit more detail in the next couple picks for him, just because of the fact of with Chandler Melton. I mean, I personally don't know much about him. But that's not saying anything. I did my due diligence around where my draft pick was. But I mean, I got to see Chandler hit at the MO WIFF tournament and got to see some videos here and there. Boy can rake.
He can mash.
Yeah,
It's not even a question.
Boy is gonna hit. I mean, he's played in tournaments. With the CI prospects, got to spend a little time with him during Skibby's Hollow Wiffle, and just watch him have fun. And when we interviewed him at the pod, not at the pod, at the draft, and you could just tell he radiates confidence. And that's something coming to a new league, coming to fast pitch, something he's already seen, and he's he earned that spot there at number 4. And I mean, in all reality, it's going to be fun to watch what him and some of these other CI prospect boys can do.
Yeah, I mean, before we move on to pick 5, I just want to say, Mambas could have they could have reached, taken an arm here, but at 4, I'm so happy for Chandler. I mean, he hits with anything. Big barrel, yellow bat. I mean, you give him one of the little old wiffle ball bats, the pole, and he'll rope one with that.
Yeah, definitely one of the best hitters. We're probably polished hitters that we're in this draft class.
Yeah.
Pick number 5, Kings come back around with the trade that they traded up with because they originally had 1 and 2. They traded 2 to the Thunderbirds, and we gave up our 5th pick to them. They take another hot bat in James Dobb. Some of the quickest hands I think I've ever seen when it comes. I mean, looking at the NWLA tournament where his hands are so fast. I mean, he put that team on his back there for a game or two, and carried it through.
Yeah.
For NWA.
The semifinals against Kalamazoo. I mean, the reigning defending national champions in the NWLA tournament. Beat the SOBL the year prior. I mean, one of the best stories I think I've ever seen. I mean, I've said it multiple times on here, but just for the sake of time here, I mean, in a sense, I'm so happy for James Dobb. I mean, going from can I even make it to the league to top 5 pick, it's awesome. Yeah. I love to see it.
Pick number 6, Mambas come back around again with their actual pick. Their first pick that they had here in the first round was their compensation pick for losing Ryan O'Rear, but they pick up Caden Rice, and I mean now when you're talking about Melton and Rice together, both from CI prospects and everything, they're going to be able to travel together, which is awesome. Which will get them here more a little bit for games than maybe originally if they got split up. But I saw him at the MO WIFF tournament as well. I mean, kid hits, kid pitches. I've the little bit of video that I've gotten to see. I mean, I'm excited to see just the two-way talent that he brings to the table, and how he helps kind of replace, for lack of a better term, what the Mambas lose in Ryan O'Rear, and to be able to maybe be there a little bit more consistently.
Yeah, I mean, the Mambas with these 2 picks in the top 10 that they had, they basically took Ryan O'Rear and they split them. You got the bat and Chandler and the arm in Caden. Obviously, Caden can also hit.
Yep.
But on top of them both being from CI, they'll travel together. I mean, you basically said it all. You ensured that they're on the same team and they're going to travel together. So now they go from will they even make playoffs part time to we're gonna show up together part time. So I really like this pick for the Mambas.
And we don't even know if part time. I mean, they may make 12 games,
right? You just don't know.
Something like that. It depends on how the schedule falls.
Yeah.
When we get in that 7th pick, we get to the purge with back to back.
Yeah.
I thought we'd see a trade here, in all reality, but we didn't. Tom holds on to both picks. Mm-hmm. Takes Zach Gunn with the first pick. Zach Gunn is going to be, coming along as a player that was part of, NWA. Just led his team, help was one of the main reasons, his team won a championship over there in NWA this year over there at Ballman Yards. But just the skills and what he has, very highly regarded. Tom definitely does his due diligence when he talks about his players.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely going to be somebody that's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun player to watch.
Yeah.
Right. Side by side with Ballman, with Pat, and everything kind of, takes a little bit of the nerves out, if you will, and already, stepping in, all he's got to do is hit maybe, which might be the hardest part. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if that's your strong suit, that's going to be a great thing to have. Exactly
what the Purge needed.
Yeah.
A bat. I mean, they have so many arms.
And talking about arms, at 8, they take Blake Hoffman. And I mean, I know, I got to meet Blake during the MO WIFF tournament last year, played with him. Just adding another lefty to the league for one.
Yeah.
The videos lately have been absolutely filthy of what he's been posting. He's definitely putting the work in. I love seeing pictures of people out with ice and snow and, throwing in the cold. And I mean, still, making things, some dirty movement on a ball. So, I mean, that's awesome to see for there. So, I mean, he's definitely going to add an arm, and somebody that's proven, played in a couple national tournaments, also plays in different leagues across the country. The list is a little bit longer than, to spew off here of where he's played, but I mean, he's definitely somebody who knows what the hell he's doing whenever he steps into the box. Mm-hmm. And I mean, fast pitch, that doesn't bother him. He's going to hit some homers. He's going to drive the ball for him. And in all reality, as it stands now, he might be that best hitter on that roster right now. I mean, just because he's got, the experience and how he's hit.
Yeah, I mean, it also brings some experience to the mound as well. I mean, Caleb and Colin and Pat, they all have fast pitch experience. Caleb, Colin going in their 3rd year, Pat into his 2nd year in MO WIFF. But, being a veteran in Blake Hoffman, you know how to set a hitter up. You're a lefty, that's already an advantage because there's so many righties in this league. And then knowing how to set a hitter up, where to tunnel, baseball and wiffle ball are 2 completely different sports when it comes to pitching.
Yep.
Especially in hitting as well. But I think just that experience on the mound is going to help develop Colin and Caleb's game to a whole new level.
For sure. Then we get to the first trade, the draft day trade. This originally was sitting here where the Archers were picking for where they finished, their championship loss. Obviously they get the 9th pick. They traded to the Melonheads. The Melonheads jump up and get their guy that they had eyes on the whole time, and Bryson Livingston. Brody's little brother, who claims, that he's going to hit Brody better than anybody else in the league. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Just kind of glimpse and gleams of that. But, I mean, is a good hitter in his own right. Mm-hmm. We got to spend some time, with him earlier on or late last year, just to kind of sit there and see what he got. And, he didn't disappoint then. Mm-hmm. Took some good at-bats off, the pitching that he saw. And, I mean, even at the MO WIFF tournament, last year he was hitting the ball.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely going to be something that's going to be fun seeing. And, joining that Melonheads team with that kind of talent that's been kind of built, it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you're joining a team with a plethora of hitters. Jason Worsenholm, Jordan Smith, Spencer Bogad, Sam Eichenlob, Brian O'Rear. Jesus, I forgot they signed him too. But, and then pitching as well. All those guys on the other side know how to pitch. They know how to set people up. So, I think he's 18 years old. Yeah. You're younger than me, but being on a team like that with the raw talent you already have, I think it's a great fit, personality-wise and schematic-wise.
And the fact that he's going to be able to show up.
Yes.
Be there. Not saying everybody else can't, but, we all got lives and we all got things to do. Sometimes, that was the downfall for the Melonheads last year, people not being able to show.
Yeah.
This year, we know Rear's going to show up as much as he can. We know Jordan's going to show up as much as he can. Sam will be there as much as he can be. So, I mean, that Melonheads team goes from cellar dwellers to penthouse in a matter of
Honestly, it was
30 minutes total.
Yeah.
Between when free agency opened up versus what we're able to get whenever the time comes.
Yeah, I mean, free agency started 6:30 p.m. All-Star night, and Jordan Ryan signed by 1:30 the next day.
Yeah. So then we get over to your team. The second trade into the first round. Obviously, when we posted the pre-draft and everything,
trade was made during the Kings podcast.
The trade was actually made and confirmed during the Kings podcast. So it's kind of funny, if you watch the video of the original podcast where I put the little blurb up there saying trade was made afterwards. But it was awesome to see that the champs get back to their 10th pick that they originally had and traded to the Kings.
Yep.
So with the like we said, with the Mojo moving back into that first round and everything, they get it back from the Kings. I don't have the details on the trade right in front of me right now.
I know him.
Yep.
It was Kings 10 acquired from Mojo, traded for a 2027 first round pick.
Gotcha. So you guys gave up hopefully in your guys' eyes that's a late round pick.
Hopefully in 27 it's not a top 5 pick.
In 27, it's a 2027 first.
27. We didn't trade 26.
All right. So we getting in it. All right, but they take Ray J. So
yes,
Ray played in the MO WIFF tournament last year. Had a decent tournament in all reality for Wiffle Ball not being the primary.
Honestly, sent their team to the finals in that game.
He is Connor's
uncle.
Connor's uncle. That's right. So comes in the league, play with his nephew. Can't ask for a better team to join than the Mojo, obviously. Right. So I mean, he's going to fit right in with that. And so I mean, it was good to see the first round end the way it did.
Yeah.
With Ray. But I mean, ultimately, I think he slides in being a competitive fast pitch softball player.
That's a huge.
That fast pitch, we'll see how it translates, right?
I mean, yeah.
It's consistency is going to be the name of the game. Mm-hmm. And if it translates and he starts hitting, that's going to be fantastic.
Oh, it's going to be a great pickup.
So we go into the second round. Well, the Melonheads, how they traded into the first, they traded that same pick. They had the first pick of the second round. They trade that back to the Archers. The Archers in the first round take Drew Maurer. Now, watching the video, Drew, he's only 16 years old. Boy's got heat.
Yeah.
So another flamethrower that's got some nasty movement. He's been playing in wiffle ball tournaments and for a couple of years now across, in some of that U16 circuits. But, I mean, he's poised to come in here and just be lights out for the Archers. So, I mean, when they look at everything of what they've gained in just the 2 picks of what they had in Klein and Maurer, I mean, they added 2 more arms.
Yeah.
Say Rory's not feeling it right then and there, or something. Rory, he's 3 on the depth chart right now in my eyes.
Yeah.
When it comes to pitching, maybe 4 when Drew comes up. He's one of those teams now that if he wanted to, one of these boys could be their closer.
Right.
And just come in and we could start seeing saves now in the league instead of, seeing 5 inning games, complete games where arms are falling apart.
I mean, hey, Sam Skibby, we need some more saves out of him.
He may lose his title as the
all-time saves leader.
What's he got, 2 or 3?
I think he's got like 3 or
4. Moves us to the second pick of the second round, Drew Ballman. I love this pick.
Great pick
for the Kings. Kind of fill out their roster and everything. A little bit of time that I've got to spend with Drew and got to talk to him. One of the nicest people you ever meet.
Yeah.
He's just like his brothers, super involved when it comes to everything. He wants to help out the best he can. Going to be a little bit of a transition for him.
Yeah.
Getting into the fast pitch game versus, what the medium pitch that they do over in NWA. But I think in all reality, once it clicks for him and he steps into, comes into his own, I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I like the pick. Kings round out the first round with another NWA guy. I mean, he's going to fit right in with this team. He's a nice guy. I mean, if he's anything like his brother, which I think he's going to be really good. I mean, no better league to transition to fast pitch than MO WIFF.
Right. The original third pick of the second round was meant for the Thunderbirds. We'd elected not to make a selection here. Had some eyes on some free agents. ended up bringing back Mark Vogler. Figured he earned that spot more than just drafting somebody for drafting. Glad to keep him in the league. Glad to keep him with the team.
Yep.
I'm excited to see, to play with him. Got to play against him for the last couple of years, not to get to play with him. It's going to be an absolute honor, in my opinion, to be able to play with him, and that's why I brought him back.
Yep.
So moving into that second round pick, the Mambas make their third pick of the draft, and they take their third CI prospect in Falcon Pearson. Now, if you watch the draft, Falcon talked about the mentors that he has in the other two when it comes to Chandler and Caden. So if those two are mentors and he's still learning, sky's the limit for this kid.
Mm-hmm.
You got to watch him throw a little, get to see him swing a little bit at a couple different tournaments. He just has fun.
Mm-hmm.
And bottom line, Wiffle Ball's a game. Games are meant to be fun. And that's just kind of how the kid carries himself. It's going to be interesting to see exactly, where he kind of slides in when it comes to that Mama's team with the way that roster is constructed right now. But I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I'm excited about this pick. Mambas clean sweep all the CI prospects guys.
Yep.
So that adds more chemistry on top of this team. Now the 3 CI prospects guys just need to build chemistry with the team that's already there.
Yep.
And that team has had chemistry because they play together for 2-3 years.
And they're a good
now.
group of guys too. It's going to be good group of guys
Meshing together.
Yeah, mesh together.
It might take a while for them to mesh together and for, Falcon, Caden, and Chandler all to grow with this team, with their talent. But, like you said, sky's the limit for this squad. And I'm excited to see them play.
Yeah. Then we get to the Bombers' first pick and only pick of this draft, in Ben Doolin. Now, watching some of the video, Doolin's coming from Florida. Boy's got gas.
He's one of the best pitchers in the country.
Oh, it is. The rich get richer a little bit if you're talking about national players. With Ethan Weiner last year, with Cam. Doolin coming in, somebody that's going to also be able to help Johnny, maybe a little bit different philosophy versus what Cam might already have, to help Johnny gun. Dwyer's already there. I think just the experience with just all around coming in is going to make those guys better. And I'm not counting the Bombers out, but that entire National League, that division is, it got better. Everybody got better in some capacity. But with the National League, like I said, getting better, it's going to be one of those things to where who comes out,
Right.
That's going to be a dogfight.
Yeah.
Because now you're talking about arms that are there. You got Brody, you got Doolin, that are coming into the division. When Blake Hoffman coming in the division, pretty much all 4 of us have picked up players. The Melonheads get better when it comes to adding Jordan and Ryan, and bringing Sam back now. I personally love the fact I can lump back with the Melonheads because, it's one of my favorite people to hit off.
Yep.
Of. But, that's, all fun and games. Love you, Sam. But then, we get into the 5th pick when it comes to John Satrowski going over to the Purge.
Yeah.
And John's right. He's not no slouch either.
No.
He's won, he's been in NWA for, a couple years now as well. And the way that they play, that's just going to fit right in with that Purge team and what they have. So add another NWA guy to that Purge lineup.
That team's going to be good, man. John Satrowski, he struggled at the winter workout a little bit, I'd say. Couldn't find the footing,
A little bit.
but he showed up to spring training, found an arm slot, found a ball that he liked, and he was hitting his own. He was consistent. Obviously the hitting's a struggle, but, if you're the Purge, especially with this draft, you got to be happy with it.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to be winning games 1-0. So, I think they're going to be okay.
So, my absolute one of my top 2. All right, I know I already kind of said it. I love the final pick of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
All right, final pick of the draft. Culture Rants, a late entry into the draft, but looking and seeing, coming from Queen City and Springfield, seeing what the video that he posted and everything. I don't know what the level of competition was like, but just the video that he posted, boy, looks like he can hit and pitch. So maybe we got another 2-way player that comes in. We don't know how many weeks he's going to make it, but it being on that Archers team, we'll be able to we'll figure all that out whenever the time comes. But it'll be one of those things. I love the fact of Rory going out there, taking a chance on a guy, and maybe it's low risk, high reward for him.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Coulter. I didn't see the video. Bad on me. I didn't finish the draft video. I got a little sidetracked and busy with personal things here and there. But by the way I've heard, it's going to be a good pick. If he shows up, kudos to Rory. You took your last pick and you ran with it. Normally the last 3 picks in the draft are no selection. But he's
you and me were last 3 picks of the draft.
I know. And
we show up every week.
We're there every week. We've had success. We put in the work. We know what it takes to win. And hey, honestly, if it's for Coulter, it should be a little chip on his shoulder. I'm not available, but
I don't think we don't know the availability. I don't think we quite know the availability.
We don't know the availability.
So that's going to be fun to sit there and see. So Coulter, I can't wait to see what you bring down, bro.
He can come in here, lights out, and be like, I was picked last. Hey. All of you guys passed me, and I was picked last.
Right.
Just lighting some fire under it, man.
Yeah. So, obviously, the final pick of the round was meant for the Mojo with the Ray Jaso pick that filled your guys' roster at 8. So, you guys weren't eligible to make a pick. But, okay. Defending champs, you guys can deal with it.
Yeah, we could say the trophy is our final pick.
Trade the trophy for the pick. I'd do that too.
Yeah. We'll trade you the trophy for Brody.
Trophy for Brody?
Yeah, you can have the trophy.
I'm good.
That's all right.
We'll
take the trophy.
All right, so that goes for our first segment here, going over the draft and everything. What coming up next, we were able to sit down, or at least, virtually or in person, meet with our top 3 draft picks.
Yeah.
So love that. So we got their interviews coming here shortly, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Here is Ken Bowen with the first overall pick of the 2025 MO WIFF Draft.
Thanks, everybody, for being here with the first pick in the 2025 MO WIFF Draft. The MO WIFF Kings select Josh Wheeler.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think you hear so many excited because nobody honestly expected this pick. Josh Wheeler is in attendance today. You see him coming up to the podium to accept it. Josh Wheeler, an incredible wiffball player for the amount of time he's had. You see him put the hat on there.
So, joining us now is your first overall pick of the 2025 MO WIFF Draft, Mr. Josh Wheeler.
It's good to be here, guys.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
All right. Anytime.
So, we're roughly a little more than 48 hours removed. How's it feel? Does it sink in yet?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe not Sunday, but I think waking up Monday morning, I was like, wow, that was not a dream. That actually happened. But no, it feels really good. I definitely feel like I have some extra motivation to keep the work up and get ready for the season. So I'm excited.
Gotcha. Yeah, first, like we said, first overall pick to the Kings. A retooling team, and that's what I'll call it. Because I don't want to say rebuild because they started that build last year, and Sam said it on the broadcast of the draft. Retooling's not fair because that was a whole new team, coming together. They played together. They're all friends. They grew up, but joining that league, we learned, like Justin Hall was the best player for 3 straight weeks we had in the league, with his winning streak. That's just the stuff the Kings already have. But now they had you, James Dobb, and then Drew Ballman. That's right. So, knowing with that you kind of add those 3 names to an already pretty good starting staff.
Yep.
You coming in as well, going to be a pitcher you're still learning, right? But I think from day, I'll ask you from day one, how do you help this team?
Throw strikes when I get the chance to pitch and take good at bats. Try to win each at bat, and I feel like that's all you really can do. When you get your opportunities, just take advantage of it and do what you can.
Yeah, I talked about in the last podcast that legitimately, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. From the bottom of my soul and everything. I don't think that there was anybody that has put in as much work as you have to become the style player that you have. I think and Ken, text me if I'm wrong here, but that work ethic alone was one of the hardest, one of the best possible things, what they're looking for down there in the Kings. So kind of walk me through your approach a little bit.
Yeah.
What you took to getting ready for MO WIFF.
Yeah. I mean, like my weekly routine, I guess, or
Not necessarily that. I guess let's start the story. We'll go that route. How'd you find out about MO WIFF and what got you, kind of getting into the league?
Yeah. So I've been buddies with Jason for over 10 years now, and I'm originally
Jason Worstonholm.
Yeah, sorry. From Melonheads. So I knew about Mo WIFF when it was starting, but unfortunately I was literally moving out of state right when you guys were starting up. I had followed MLW for a couple years before that, so I was aware of Wiffle Ball competitively. I just didn't play it. So I was super disappointed moving away, and I've been keeping up with you guys over the years, and just recently moved back this past year in 2024 to St. Louis, and I knew immediately that was the first thing. I was like, Jason, I want to get in that league. What do I need to do? And I've just been kind of getting more excited and starting to follow more closely as it went by. And then in August, the Mo WIFF Classic, I played with Jason and a couple guys and got that experience, and the itch, it was just there. As soon as I played, I was watching, J-So. We actually got to play him in the bracket play, and he knocked us out, and he was just lights out that day. And it was just, I was like, from there, I knew I wanted to put some effort in this and spend my time doing this. So I was locked in from there, and basically ever since then I've been throwing bullpens every week, getting in the weight room, built that batting cage as you mentioned before, and getting reps in every day and off the pitching machine, and just doing everything I can to catch up, because I haven't just been not playing wiffle ball. I've been sitting on my, can I cuss in this? Try not to. Okay. I've been sitting on my butt for the past 10 years. I played college baseball, but it's been 10 years, and I have not touched a baseball. I haven't done much. So, just trying to get myself back in shape and get ready. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Josh, going into draft day, did you know or expect to go number one?
No. So I had talked to Ken on the phone earlier that week. We had a conversation and it went really well. And I think we both knew when we left that conversation saying it, like I would be a great personality fit and I would fit in really well there. But, Ken was a full professional. He didn't really give anything away. He just said, thank you for the time. Definitely interested. I think you'd be a good fit, and left it at that. And so walking into Sunday, I had no idea. Rumors, people were telling me I'd go top 3, and I was just going to be happy to get drafted at all. So, to go first overall was pretty crazy, but no, I had no idea.
So give us some insight into that conversation, because I was taken out of left field.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you, I thought it was James or Brody interchangeable. And I knew from the whole time you were top 3 pick, you were going to get drafted regardless. But number one, I mean, you couldn't see it, but my mouth dropped to the floor.
Dude, that reaction to that room was crazy. But yeah, the conversation, it started off with an email. He sent me, I think, about 10 questions. So I just responded to the email.
I really must have dropped the ball here, because I just started conversations and got to know people.
He did this like a job interview.
I know. I'm sorry.
It was pretty official.
Good job, Ken.
Yeah. No, Ken handled it really well. But
Did you get that email too? Oh, shit.
You got an email?
James got it too. All right. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, so it started with that, and I just replied honestly and just kind of let him know kind of my thoughts, and he liked it, I think, and we talked on the phone, and he kind of we didn't really say much. I think he got most of, what he wanted out of my answers. We just kind of talked through a little bit, asked, about approach and availability, mindset, what I'm looking for in a team, that kind of stuff, and, I think the conversation went really well, obviously.
Gotcha. So what have you learned about your new team so far?
They are a bunch of rowdy, awesome guys, and I literally am so excited to play for them. Like, it's going to be so fun. I think we're going to have more fun than anybody out there.
All of us kind of say that.
Yeah.
Fun and beauty are in the eye of the beholder. I promise you that. It's going to be, but I don't second guess the fact that the Kings are going to have fun. I will say that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's an amazing team to play for, and we're just going to have a blast this year. So I'm really, really excited.
What, have you got to meet any of your teammates yet?
I have met Justin Hall, Ken Bone, Keller, and then I got to meet Paul Pugh, which he is just, he is a great man. I'm really excited to get a team with him. I met him at the Skibby tournament, and, he was a blast to be around. He's just a bundle of joy, so I'm pumped.
Just a bundle of joy.
Yeah.
Just a baby bouncing bundle of joy.
That's one way to put Paul. Bundle of joy.
Oh, snap.
No, he's a blast.
One of these days we'll get him on here.
Well, yeah, it'll
happen one of these days.
Eventually. 3 years down the line. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, but no, man, I'm glad to hear got to meet your teammates and everything that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so last year, as you know, the Kings didn't make the playoffs. Yep. Had a very disappointing season as to their standards. Some would say you were a very controversial and surprising pick, to say the least, as you could tell by the reaction in the room. The early projections are the Kings will miss the playoffs for the second year in a row.
Well, we're assuming that we haven't really.
Early projections is, aka an assumption, but what are you going to do to prove the doubters, whomever, prove them wrong, and what are you going to do to help lead the Kings to the playoffs?
That is a difficult question. I have a lot of respect for the talent in the league, so I'm not going to just sit here and say I'm just going to walk in and, blow everybody away. I am sure I'm going to have my ups and downs this season, but the only thing that I can control is, again, the hard work that I do and put into it, and then just being smart when I'm on the field, not letting the game get to me or the situation, and just take every at bat. I had the same approach in baseball. You just try to win at bats, and whether that's a walk or a hit or whatever it is, just get on base. And then pitching, just throw strikes. Don't throw it right down the middle in this league. I'm learning very quickly, just watching back on tape, trying to take notes on guys. You can't leave pitches hanging. So, I'm just going to try to do what I can. I'm not going to try to one-man army this team. There's so much talent. They don't need me to, put them on my back or anything. I just need to play my game, try to learn the league as quickly and adapt as quickly as I can, and just play my game and try to help the team anyway that they're going to need me to help.
Yeah, now I see why you went number one, because you wouldn't fit in with the Archers at all. Because in that answer, Tony Cochran would be like, this is easy. And then there's you, be like, I'm just gonna one game at a time and then have some fun, try to blast.
He pretty much just quoted Bull Durham. I'm just here, sometimes it rains,
I mean, that's how it's got to be sometimes.
I don't know why that quote just left my mind. It's one of my favorite quotes.
I mean, it's just how it is sometimes. I mean, we're grown men playing wiffle ball.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we got a couple 16-year-olds.
We got a couple 16-year-olds, but I mean, 90% is a bunch of grown men playing wiffle ball on Thursday nights. Yep. It's competitive. It's one of the most competitive leagues in the country. We play a style that not a lot of people play, and a style that's nationally recognized. As you know, Mo WIFF is a nationally recognized league.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm obviously a big part of this. I don't let the game come to me. I try to make the plays, and I try, but I get mad. As you can tell, I get mad a lot. I'm just a competitor. And
you're very passionate.
I am passionate. I'm I'm a competitor, but I think all of us need to take notes from that answer and just, at the end of the day, we're trying to have fun.
Yeah.
Winning is fun, and you can't win if you don't have fun.
I agree.
100% agree with that.
Yeah. My dad said it, so I just quoted my own father. I feel pretty good that I remembered said quote, because he said it before the championship, and I'm not thinking about going out there and having fun. I'm thinking about going out there and I want to win.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I remember that quote, but it is a good quote. But yeah, I like that answer, man. Now I see why you went number one. That is the
you sold Q. There you
thing.
go.
I'm sold. I'm excited. I'm excited now.
So we obviously know about the national tournaments. You talk about your history and paying attention to everything.
Yep.
What are you looking to get into this summer?
Anything that I can. I'm 30 years old and I'm just starting. So I know that my time is limited, and I want to take advantage of the time that I have to be able to play at a high level. So I've already signed up, going to the MLW Midwest Slugfest, signed up for the CI Prospects already in Illinois. That's the NWLA style, the clean ball. So I'll definitely be starting to practice clean, and I was going to do that anyway, just like seeing like Foss's clean ball slider, and some of those guys have some really good clean ball, and I want to add that to my arsenal. So I'm definitely going to be working at that, and I think that'll be good. And then Obviously, the big one, UWIFs. If I get an opportunity to go there, I'm jumping on it. I want
good time.
I want to go. I want to play. I want to win. I want to compete. So
It's you could be. It is a big fish, big pond kind of situation.
Yeah.
You're going to see. I mean, the best of the best are there, and I mean, I had no business being on that field. Just to even be there to watch. Like that's how I felt about the talent that was on the field.
I mean, I feel the same way, and I played it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Granted, I didn't play for Missouri. My
Yeah.
first year, I played for a team from Canada, and last year I played from a team from Japan. But honestly, at 17 years old, hitting 5 home runs in your first big time national tournament like
100%.
that is a big deal. So I'll take it, but it's a blast.
Yeah,
But-
I
See that
can't wait.
humble brag there.
Yeah, I respect it though.
But listen,
I
you
applaud
gotta
it.
drop
I
that.
applaud it. I applaud it.
But,
Hey, plain and simple.
honestly, I hit 5 home runs at 17, and then at 18, I didn't get a single hit. So
Right.
I just had a good Saturday 2 years ago, and last year I didn't have a good Saturday.
Yeah.
Just how it goes. That's
Yeah.
how tournaments are. You have your good days and you have your bad days.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't even feel like I belong. But it's a great time. You get the opportunity. You gotta go.
100% jumping on it for sure.
100%. But no, man, we appreciate you stopping by tonight.
Of course.
Again, it's welcome to the league. Happy to have you. And with that, we'll be right back with the second overall pick, Mr. Brody Livingston.
Ryan Hunter to the podium for the second overall pick in the Mo WIFF draft.
And with the second overall pick, the Mo WIFF Thunderbirds take Brody Livingston with the second pick.
Brody Livingston is not here in person, but famed for BLW fame, the back-to-back MVP for BLW, has played in some high-leverage tournaments, played in recently the tournament where they invited all the 4 people to Dallas and played in Dallas and put on a show, leading the Pandas to that second-place finish. So Brody Livingston is a lefty pitcher that joins Andrew Nichols on the left side.
Welcome back. We're joined now by the second overall pick of the Thunderbirds, Mr. Brody Livingston. So, number 2 overall, how's it feel?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't been drafted in a while, so it feels pretty good. I'm not. Okay, I want to clarify something really quick. For anybody who thinks that Josh Wheeler should not have gone number 1, you're insane. I mean, he's legit. Because I got like a lot of messages about that, like, well, why didn't you go number 1? And frankly, I don't really care. I just want to play. But yeah, he deserved to go number 1 for sure. But it feels good. It feels really good.
Gotcha. I mean, I know you've been talking with a couple of guys from the league. Who have you got to talk to from your teammates? Any of your teammates kind of reach out one-off already? Besides me, I know I have. But besides me, kind of reach out and kind of.
Spencer reached out pretty much immediately. And then, I mean, pretty much the second I got drafted, I don't know, like there were people who aren't even associated with Mo WIFF who apparently had like insider knowledge who were like blowing up my phone. So I got to my phone and I was like, oh, all right, well, I went number 2. That's pretty cool. So
Awesome.
yeah, pretty cool moment.
Gotcha. Yeah, I knew I called you that morning and I was like, so do you want to know? Do you not want to know? And then I forgot to tell everybody, Brody doesn't want to know. He wants to watch the video. But like I said, that's on me. If it'd be on me.
No.
But no, man, I mean, you're still in Arizona, right? Currently right now, finishing you a senior now, or you finish your final collegiate season, or?
So I go to a JUCO, so it's just 2 years. So I'm in my sophomore season right now. And then once I'm done with this, I don't really know if I want to keep playing or not.
Gotcha.
So I'm kind of just, transitioning.
Gotcha. Well, I can't wait to have you up here in St. Louis, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm excited for it too. You're not even on my team. All right, Brody. So going into draft day, what were the expectations for you, and did you expect to get picked where you did?
I didn't really have any like crazy expectations. Like I kind of saw a possibility of dropping, all the way to 3. Like somewhere in the first 3. I didn't really know like where I was gonna fall. Like I had a team in mind. Thankfully, I got picked by that team. I kind of like I had like I don't know. I kind of had it like in a list of like who I thought would fit the best, and all of them like were pretty good fits. But I think definitely the Thunderbirds was a good, like, probably the best fit out of those three. Um, Honestly, no, not many expectations though.
So, just to clarify, you did the top 3 teams to where you fit, not all of them.
I mean, I know where all the teams stand. Don't get me wrong, but I figured the top 3 are probably where I was going to end up falling. So I just kind of looked at those 3.
I just wanted to know, like,
He was trying to trigger out if he had a Deion Sanders moment. He's like, "Oh, what pick are you? Oh, I won't be there at 10," and just walk away.
I know. I wanted to know, like, where you think you'd fit the best out of all 8 teams and where you ranked it 1 to 8. I just thought that'd be interesting.
Thunderbirds were number 1. I mean, on his list, so that's what happened.
Yeah. Hey, that's perfectly okay with me.
You will it into existence. It just happens.
Hey, I mean, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, but that's okay.
Go and ask the second one.
So getting drafted at number 2, I mean, you are having the best. It's the best team any top 3 pick has ever had in the history of MO WIFF. So, how are you feeling? What impact will you have for the Thunderbirds in 2025?
I'm excited. That was kind of one of the things that I was a little worried about, depending on how long I would be out here in Arizona, just because we don't know with the playoff schedule and everything. So I was hopefully like I was hoping to get picked up on a team that could like hold the fort down, and win games without me there. And then I mean the second I get in, I want to make an immediate impact and help win even more games. So I'm pretty stoked about being a Thunderbird.
Got you. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I want your college season to go as long as you can. I want everybody to want to win, right? So, but at the same time, I mean, if it doesn't happen, oh damn, you get to come up early. But no, I mean, we're definitely gonna be out there cheering for you, for your collegiate season.
Oh yeah.
So, talking about that, I mean, you pretty much living in Arizona, you get to live in the desert, you live in that dry. You don't get snow, you don't get ice. Essentially, there's no off season. So, walk me through literally the last 365 days for you. How much off time have you had to where you have not been playing either baseball, wiffle ball, or anything else, any other sports that you play?
0. I've been playing. My last like true break where I had at least a month off was probably December of 2023. And even then, like, I was still grinding for Wiffle Ball. I had like pretty mediocre hitting season, I would say. So I was really just grinding hitting, because I know my pitching's good. I mean, I've kind of always been a better pitcher than I have been a hitter. Up until about this year when my hitting, I feel like, kind of just exploded. But between baseball and Wiffle Ball, like, not a ton of breaks, because in the spring, in the fall I'm playing baseball, in the spring I'm playing baseball, and then all summer I'm playing Wiffle Ball. So I don't know. Sometimes I'll do both at the same time.
Gotcha.
If it makes you feel better, Connor Jaso called you the best young hitter in the country. So
I heard that, and I appreciate it.
So how does it feel to be coming to a league to where I know you've seen Connor, in other tournaments, BLW tournaments, and everything that way? How does it feel to know the fact that you potentially could be seeing him, or BWL? What did I say? BLW? I don't know.
it's BLW.
Yeah, my bad.
BLW.
Sorry. I apologize. No disrespect. I don't mean anything negative by it. I was just, unfortunately, when you get to those acronyms, you're just like, did I mess it up?
So many
But
of them.
no, I mean, going back to JSO, I mean, you're going to get to see JSO square off with JSO. I'd almost guarantee probably this year for a 5-inning game. Now, granted, it might be a league game, and then you might run into a national tournament. How exciting is it to kind of see that kind of talent when it comes to, like, somebody like JSO that, you only get to see in tournament now, but now you can see him in league play?
I don't know. It hasn't really. I mean, it has, but I'm not like. I don't know. I'm not really scared of anybody, so it's kind of like I'm just kind of
Good.
I do. That's
I
love
Good.
it.
Like that.
like I've faced guys like that who throw pretty hard, and I've taken them deep. So
Yes, he has. I've
I'm
seen
not too worried about it. I mean, he's a great dude. Me and Connor are pretty good friends, so
Gotcha.
I think that only makes me better. So I mean, I'm pretty excited.
Good to see it. I'm excited to see it. I'm loving the younger players coming in. Like between you and me, there's 18 years. All right, just age wise, and I mean, it's just seeing younger talent come in and like y'all got each other's back and might not even know each other, but just like what you said about the beginning, right there with Wheeler, that's awesome to hear. We got to spend some time with both Klein and Wheeler a little bit ago, talking with them, and they both had nothing but great things to say collectively around the block. And it's good to see it. But, I think when it's time and it's play ball and we get between the white lines, the competitive nature is going to, that competitive nature is going to come out, and it's just going to be overall fun.
Yeah. So you've been following this league for a while, a couple months, I'd say. I don't know how long specifically. Who's the most, how do I say this? Who are you most excited to face off against? Pitching, hitting?
Probably, I mean, facing Cam would be pretty cool. I mean, I've been following Mo WIFF actually since 2022. So like I've known about it. But I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. Like, if I'm ever out there for like a month, like maybe I could like, come by and like watch a game or something. But I never thought that I would actually be moving to Missouri. So I was like, oh, well, I might as well reach out.
Right.
So probably Cam, and we already talked about JSO. JSO I'm excited for. No, like I think there's gonna be a lot of people, because I don't know a lot about every player, obviously, but I'm kind of just excited to see who's gonna like, shock the league, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's the best part about it. We made a comment, or I was talking with a few guys the other day after the draft. I mean, the league, every year the league gets better, right?
Yeah.
We get newer, we get fresher talent, more talent spread out, throughout the league. Every team this year got exponentially better, except with maybe one or two, but they were already good. Good teams. They added a piece that they needed, or maybe they didn't need, but now they're got a luxury item of it, kind of thing. But it's one of those things where the talent level, I will say this, and I was joking around with Jason Worstenholm. I sat there and I go, yeah, I'm just gonna sit back and watch because I don't feel like letting my batting average drop any lower career wise it is. He goes, well, that's why you're a captain. That way you can actually stay in the league. And I was like, damn. It's like, hey, I can run into a fastball every once in a while.
Right.
Now, granted, we were just kidding around, but I mean, it gets like that where I sit back and think about it, going, damn, these young kids are here. We're ready to go. I mean, there's not a single team now that's like, all right, well, all we got to do is get through this one, and we definitely got the second pitcher. No, it's now you got to worry about 1, 2, and then 3. And that's kind of something that I'm looking forward to. You coming on to the Thunderbirds and everything. Not have to rely on you every week, if need be, just to give you a break, obviously you're throwing a lot, so on and so forth, but to know, just like you said, kind of hold down the fort, get some wins, and not have to rely on you. So with that kind of said, I mean, where do you like to sit in like a lineup? Do you like to sit at the top? Do you like to sit back and watch a pitcher that you haven't seen before?
No, I love immediately jumping in. I mean, I pretty much hit leadoff. I've pretty much hit leadoff my whole career in BLW. And then I really started getting good at it. My first year and a half, I wasn't super great. And then like right around the second half of my second year, I started really taking off. And this past year, I definitely took like a big step up.
Gotcha. Well, bud, I appreciate your time. I don't want to take up any more time the viewers than we already have tonight. But I'm glad to have you in the league and everything that way. But I look forward to seeing you get up there, and I know you'll be cheering for us and watching the games and getting them in front of you. And, we're obviously going to be in the loop. And once the jerseys come in, I'll make sure I send them down to you. So you guys can really show up.
All right.
With that being said, we'll be right back, and we're going to finish it up with an interview with Mr. James Klein. All right.
Here comes Captain Rory Rank.
Third overall pick, 2025 draft. Mo Wiff Archers select James Klein. Let's go, baby.
James Klein in attendance, and you'll see some video from now. This is the high-flying flamethrower pitcher, 16 years old, 17 years old, and he can throw in upper 90s. This guy can hit. When he gets used to the big barrel bat and he gets used to this league, I mean, it's going to be nonstop ceiling for this kid in the future.
But hey, I won, so that's all I care about. But I was still ranked lower than Jimmy Stout.
And with that, welcome back. Sitting here with us right now is the third overall pick of the Archers, Mr. James Klein.
Thank you.
So, James, I mean, you're only 16, right? Still in high school, still playing ball, assuming you're playing high school ball.
Yes, sir.
And everything. My first question is going to be, how are you looking to make sure you take care of your arm this offseason? Not offseason, during the season, during the season.
My varsity pitching coach has told me to throw quite a bit every week, about 4 days a week. So, because that helps with your arm. Telling me to take creatine and drink a lot of water, like 6 to 7 bottles of water a day.
Yeah.
Or just get a jug of water and just drink it.
Right.
So, yeah, he's been telling me that, so let's hope my arm can just take all that.
Well, I mean, pitching only one night a week, one game a week, not going to be, well, I mean, depending on if you play anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
But we'll focus on that whenever we get there.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, man, I mean.
That league. We're winning.
Oh, yeah.
So, when it comes to you joining the Archers, right? I mean, you follow the three, you follow the Archers, 2-time consecutive finalists. They've fell short last 2 years, but with everything that way, they lose the 2-time MVP Cy Wiffle and Jordan Smith. Is any of that pressure on you, or is it challenge accepted kind of thing?
Oh, dude, it's challenge accepted. I'm ready. I'm ready for the season. I'm ready to make it to the championship again, and hopefully win it this year. Instead of maybe become a MVP, maybe become a rookie of the year.
I think following Dom Citrowski's footsteps.
Oh yeah,
he was last year's rookie of the year.
So, what was your expectation going into draft day? Did you expect it to get picked number 30?
To be honest, I didn't really care what I felt. Number 1, number 2, number 3, cool. I'm drafted on a team, and this is just what I wanted. I just wanted to play. Just wanted to get the experience that most people got, and I'm just excited. I didn't really care what I felt.
Gotcha. Yeah, so what have you learned about your teammates so far? Your new team and your teammates?
Oh, dude, they're great. Rory's very nice. Tony, I love the energy. Drew, he's basically the same age as me, so I'd love to get to meet him. The other guys, I forgot their names.
Jay Rich and who else? Brad starting him in.
Yeah,
Brad,
yeah.
And I think that's Rory's brother-in-law.
Yeah,
So
he's
a good dude. He's pretty funny.
Yeah, I heard they're pretty good guys, so I just can't wait to meet them all in person, become friends with them for the whole season.
Got you. There was a joke made the other day. Rory goes, I'm just hoping that Jay Rich and Tony don't try and take James to the club. I was like, he's 16. He can't even leave this state without permission.
Nope.
But no, man. I mean, they're good. They're a good group. Ethan Bailey coming in from. Ethan Bailey's also on that roster as well. He re-signed. Ethan's another NWA guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he's a pretty good dude.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you got yourself into a good situation.
Oh yeah, dude. I just can't wait to meet them all.
Right.
Make good chemistry.
We talk about. You talk about being okay with falling down to number 3. There's a lot of talk preseason about you potentially being that number 1 overall. Mm-hmm. Does anything fall into 3? Does it kind of put a chip on your shoulder, or
nope?
Nope. All right.
I didn't care, so nope.
Gotcha. What are you looking forward to mostly through the season?
Improving on some pitches. Maybe learned how to throw a clean ball. Pretty good, a slider clean ball, because I've been trying to learn that. Try to get better at bats if I do get at bats this year. Obviously work up on my control and all that, because my control's a little off sometimes, but
when you throw 95, I mean that's gonna happen.
But
it's not room for movement.
Yeah, but I'm just excited for like the big matchups like Jaso, Brody, maybe. I just can't wait and just focus on my pitching really.
Gotcha.
So, how do you think you fit in with the Archers? You know, like you said, there's Tony, Rory, high energy team. Like, how do you think you're going to fit in with them?
I think it was meant to be for me on that team,
Yeah,
I think I really fit in. I think we're going to be a really good team this year and make a lot of chemistry and good relationship.
So, there's a thing with the league, and, 2 years ago, Caleb Schweigert, as you know, he was a pure rookie. He was 2023 Rookie of the Year, and he also won National Rookie of the Year.
National Rookie of the Year.
That was the big one. Mm-hmm. They took players from all around the region, and then they voted, and then they put them together, and then voted, and they voted that Caleb Schweigert was National Rookie of the Year. I would say coming into your first, I wouldn't say real Wiffleball season because you've been playing for 10 plus years now.
Oh, yeah.
It's been forever. But now, Mo WIFF is nationally recognized, Do you think you're going to have a chance at that National Rookie of the Year this year?
Yeah, I think I can have a pretty good chance at it.
I mean, there's talks of you joining the national team this year. UWIFs, Hometown Cup, maybe in WLA.
If I get the opportunity, I'm going to take it.
Love to hear it.
Because I'd love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, my last question is going to be a fun one. You two grew up together, right?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of fun story can you share about Q?
Oh, dude.
And then we're going to go vice versa. Don't worry, you get your day in court, too.
I can't think of any.
Every time we used to play Wiffle Ball with Richard, Bryson, and KK.
Our cousin, our two brothers. Our cousin and my two brothers.
Yeah, our family. It was like a every day type thing. Play Wiffle Ball, get out on the street, don't get hit by cars, obviously.
Don't get hit by cars.
Oh, dude, yeah.
The classic. Somebody standing outside, car. And everybody scatters to the side of the street.
Normally, it was the catcher yelled at.
Oh yeah, you got to move the chair out of the way and all that.
Oh yeah.
Good old using the chair. Days.
Oh yeah, we had a folding chair in the backyard that we'd pull around.
And Richard would lean into pitches and
he'd grab them, he'd catch them.
He'd grab them. They're right down the middle. He just. Yeah. But the funny thing about Quentin is when we played and he struck out or got mad at something, he'd just run into the house and just.
You almost said it.
And you just hear everyone say, "Quentin the quitter."
I knew that. I knew that one was coming.
Oh snap!
Yeah, now a lot of things change. I still get mad.
Yeah. Like I say, I think we all do.
Man, I really can't think of one. Honestly, this isn't about me. I was there. I was catching. The thing they used to do. Well, I was on your team at that time. Mm-hmm. It would, my brother Bryson, kid, he was the best baseball player in the family, all growing up. And our cousin Richard, he was my age when we were 8. I mean, he's 20-something now.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes they'd play on the same team.
Okay, I'm mathing.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is now. He was a teenager when we were kids. That's the best I can say.
Gotcha. That's what you
meant. He was, I would say, junior, senior in high school when we were younger. But my brother Bryson and him were on the same team. It was me and James. And I remember my brother Bryson was pitching. This kid with a yellow bat cranks one, bat flips. My brother Bryson got so mad. James is running the invisible bases. Grabs a wiffle ball, throws it. James ducks, laughs at him, and here comes Bryson like a bull, charging at him, and James runs inside. And it's like, don't hit me! The best part was seeing my brother's face, because nobody hit Bryson. Nobody. Because,
except for Richard. But they were always on the same team, which would make it so unfair.
I know, but you can't argue with them because they'd be like, "You're scared to face us."
Yeah.
But Bryson never gave up home runs to anybody except Richard. He hit one, and it was pandemonium. It's bad when your teammates pointing, laughing. You gave him a home run to James. That's a funny one.
Also, you've been the PO of the family.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh man, I love hearing family stories.
Oh yeah, I love
family stories like that. The only thing I got a little brother, and then we had a kid across the street that was in between me and my brother. And growing up in New Melly, we had got property, so we pretty much had a whole ball field in our front yard that we used. I remember one time it was through the ball. Steve hits line drive up the middle, goes underneath the fence, goes up the street right as this car comes by and smokes the windshield. Oh. Just cracked the living crap out of it. And we were so scared. We were running in the house. Cars stopped, came back into the driveway and everything that way. And my mom or dad went out there, and the guy was just returning the ball because he said he saw it, where it landed and grabbed it. He goes, "Stuff happens. You boys just being boys having a good time. It's not like you did it on purpose." I just remember sitting there like, my mom coming back inside and we're like, "Are we in trouble?" And she's like, "Accidents happen." She goes, "It's not like you were sitting out back and broke my window again." Yeah. We used to do that all the time.
Dude, you remember the girl next door or across the street every time we used to play pickle?
Oh,
and every time the ball hit her garage, she would call the cops on us.
Yeah. Oh, snap. I was just about,
and we just ran in the back of the house as fast as we could.
Yeah, she's not everyone's favorite neighbor. They live in Pittsburgh now, but there would be times we play wiffle ball, and I'm a lefty, and I pull the ball, and our cousin Richard was a switch hitter. He's facing 10-year-olds, so it's different. We're not, the only one that could throw hard was my brother Bryson. We'd pull one, or they'd hit one the other way, and they'd hit the garage. You'd never seen, me and my brother Caden were always chubby growing up. You'd never seen us chubby kids run that fast. We'd run, grab the chair while running, run to the back of the house or run inside, and we'd peek around the corner like the little rascals, like, "Are they gonna come outside?" No, that was, every time we hit the garage, it'd be like a little dink with the wiffle ball. F the wiffle ball, we're gone. I mean, our teenage cousin, gone. We weren't playing that game.
No. Holy snap.
Richard would be jumping over bushes and all that.
Oh, squall! He'd yell like a bird jumping out of the bushes. They'd have a game plan. They'd throw the ball in the bushes, and our cousin Richard would run around the house, grab it, and we're running back and forth like, we're gonna win. He would jump over the neighbor's porch, go squall like a bird, and jump on you. It's like, get off me, dude! You jumped on me. He's like, you're out.
Oh, snap.
Dude, Richard was something else.
Oh, dude. Guy's a legend, man.
He's amazing.
Golly, man. Well, you got anything? Get back on topic, I guess, a little bit. You got any more questions for James?
Nah, man.
All right. Well, appreciate James Brody, and Josh stopping by and hanging out with us a little bit today. So with that, we'll be right back with the third segment. Welcome back to the third segment of our 3 Up, 3 Down podcast. Before we get too wrapped up into our draft grades.
Yeah.
I always want to remind everybody to make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for our YouTube channels. That way you don't miss anything that we post. The merch store is getting uploaded any day now with some new merch. It's coming. So that's going to be something that's going to be out there. The link is on our website, just mowiff.com. I'm excited about that. I've loved all my things that I've made, but I'm ready for get some stuff that comes, from the league and be able to help support our league as well.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
But with that, let's get into some draft grades, bro.
I've had this made since Monday. I'm so excited to finally get this done.
So, which one you want to start? National or American?
Let's start with the National League.
The National League?
Yeah.
All right. Which team we got up there first?
I'm gonna start with the Melonheads. They finished last year, and they had, in my opinion, the best free agency. So I'll start with them. I gave them a B. They drafted Bryson Livingston, traded up to get Bryson Livingston. He's a project player with a good upside. He's young at 18 years old, has good potential and a great cast around him. Like I said it in the draft recap, with a 2-time Cy Wiffle Award winner, a top 5 player in Ryan O'Rear as well. Jason Worstholm, one of the best hitters in the league. Spencer Bogat has over 20-plus years of experience. Sam Eichenlob, a great hitter in his own right, know. And then there's such a good crew together, with Tony Saggio, that great vibes. They're a great team, they never have problems. No drama, no nothing, Right. Not a lot of teams have drama in this league. A lot of teams get along with each other, but the Melonheads, they're called the most fun team in the league for a reason. And I think Bryson Livingston fits right in.
Yeah, and Jason said Bryson was his guy from day one, just because of the way Bryson is. He likes to he's not afraid to voice his opinions and everything, so he fits right in, culture fit.
Exactly.
I'll agree with that craft rate, because he still is a little bit project. He's getting, more experience. He's getting bigger. He's still growing, right? Going to get a little bit stronger, going to get a little bit bigger and everything. I mean, he's already well polished when it comes to playing, and we're just going to see how the adjustment to Mo WIFF versus BLW, what's that going to look like? But, he's played it, like I said, we played in the Mo WIFF tournaments before, so I mean, he's definitely got that exposure, so I'm excited to seeing it. Let's go from there. Let's go Purge.
Yeah, so the Purge I gave him also a B. They got Zach Gunn, Blake Hoffman, and John Satrowski. Two non-proven Mo WIFF style players with a high upside. Added Blake as a part-time player. Again, we don't know how much he's going to be there, but I said in the draft grades, Blake has years and years and years of experience of fast-pitch wiffle ball playing in mall, played in UWIFs this past year. And, I would say a somewhat young, somewhat experienced, somewhat young, core and Colin, Caleb, and Pat, just having that veteran arm that can come in and get you some innings, an innings eater. I think the Purge had a good draft here.
Yeah. Okay. I think with Blake, I think Blake's going to show up a little bit more than I think. I'm going to go A- here.
Okay.
All right, just because of the fact that they needed somebody with experience. They got it in Blake.
Yeah.
They needed, they wanted to stay young and continue to build that core. They got it in Zach. And then in Zach and Drew. So, or not Drew, my bad, John.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's definitely going to be something that's going to be fun to watch. I don't think that they could have gone no wrong. I mean, in all reality, you added to an already surplus in what you had in pitching. You added a bat, and Blake, Blake's already got at the bat, but in Zach, you got another one. Does Drew come along and hit as well? I mean, it's going to be one of those things where when the adjustment period's over, maybe we come back and we revisit this midway through and look and see when everybody's kind of had that adjustment period. We look and see how that's gone. So the Purge, so let's go Bombers.
Bombers, I gave a B-. They only picked one time. They got Ben Doolan at 15. Great player at a great spot. But how many weeks does Ben Doolan show up? And who's going to be the number 2 when Ben Doolan's not there?
I mean, you got Johnny and Cam. Literally.
You do got Johnny and Cam, but again, Johnny struggled last year. And, he throws a lot in NWA. And they play pretty much throughout our season as well. Johnny struggled with location and a little bit of velocity, In the semifinals, last game pitch got knocked for 8 runs against us. Granted, we were one of the best hitting teams in the league and in the country. But, that next game, Cam held us to 3. Cam held us to 4 runs total in 2 games pitched. And so, but it's a B- for me because of Ben's availability. But if Ben's full-time, he's number 1 overall pick. It's not even close. He's one of the best pitchers in the nation. He throws absolute gas. And then if there's a pitcher, there's not many pitchers out there in this league that can knock Cam down to a number 2 spot.
You think Doolan's that spot?
You get Doolan to the playoffs. He is, I wouldn't necessarily say he's like the anti-Connor. He's like the Hulkbuster.
The Hulkbuster.
He's like the Hulkbuster.
Love it.
Connor's the big green machine. He's showing up and he's pumping 100 miles per hour.
Well,
Ben Doolan.
We can talk about the Mojo and we can talk about all that later.
Ben Doolan is like the Hulkbuster.
I love it.
Yeah.
So let's get to the Thunderbirds. Let's round out the national.
I mean, A+. I only, absolute slam dunk. I mean, you got Brody Livingston at 2. Arthur Great cast pitching, Spencer Foss, Dominic Strowski, Andrew Nichols. And then you have Brody Livingston on top of that. I mean, you have an arsenal of 4 elite pitchers. I mean, you could legitimately you could split games. You play 6 innings, you can go 3-3.
Yeah.
Okay, Spencer, you're going to pitch 3, and then Brody, you're going to come and pitch 3. Next game, Andrew, you're 3, Dom, you're 3.
It's going to be fun to manage this team.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's going to take a little finessing with it, making sure that everybody's getting work in, because anybody getting stagnant there. But I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm thinking all reality. The minute that Ken said that he was taking Josh Wheeler, everybody knew that it was going to be Brody for me.
The whole room.
I mean, the minute he did it, I looked at Cam. Cam looked at me and goes, "I will trade you the farm." Mm-hmm. I was like, "What farm?" but just
kind
kind
of
of
a
talking.
joke.
Then I was like, no.
Yeah, I mean that's just someone you don't pass up on, especially in that position.
Right.
I think he's a generational talent. Not many. You could say, oh, there's every year there's superstar players. I mean, last year's draft class, Pat Ballman and Connor Jaso, two of the best players in the country. The year before that, Colin and Caleb. Then you had the redraft with Rory, Tony, and all that. And then you had the beginning draft with Sam Bogad. The whole crew. But I mean, Brody's absolutely generational. He's 20. He can hit the cover off the wiffle ball, and he's lights out pitching. Where the brights shine the lightest, he comes in clutch. I mean, he's not a pure rookie. He's been there before. He knows what it takes to win, and he's willing to put the work in. And you got it right with this one. I mean, There's no doubt in my mind. He was my one. He was over my own cousin. He's number one.
All right, let's move over to the American division,
Mm-hmm.
American League division.
I'll start with the Kings here. They got the number 1 overall pick. They drafted Josh Wheeler. I mean, B-. And before you're all throwing tomatoes at me, oh boo, boo, you suck. Hear me out. Josh Wheeler.
I wish I had a tomato right now.
That's fine. I could take that on the chin, and honestly, I hope I get proved wrong, because that means I'm wrong, and that means people got better, and that's what I want. I want this league to succeed for years and years and years and years. And if I'm wrong in this case, it's a good thing. Josh Wheeler, in my opinion, in my mock draft, was the 3rd overall pick to the Archers all day. I had Brody, James, and then Josh. My top 3. In none of my mock drafts, his ceiling was number 1. His ceiling was always going to be 2, and his floor was 4 or 5 for me. He got picked at number 1. And I don't hate the pick. I after kind of thinking and originally this was a C+. This was a C+ draft for the Kings, but after thinking on it and kind of figuring out why Ken did it, I think Josh Wheeler at number 1 is a good pick for the Kings. Obviously, people already have their assumption, oh, James is going to go to the Mojo because he's my cousin. You obviously don't know who my cousin is.
It's competitive.
My cousin is a competitor.
Yep. And
if we get to a point to where we just absolutely beat him for the next 2 years, he's not going to sign with us. He's going to want to beat us. They also got James Dobb, and I think James Dobb is a great pick. They also got Drew Malman. But will Josh be the answer for the Kings in a division with the Archers, Mojo, and Mambas?
Ooh.
And will James and Drew adjust to the style quick enough to keep the Kings in playoff contention? Ken said it right here on this couch. Over 500 is considered a failed season for him. He wants to make the playoffs. Well, look at the division you're at. 2 teams miss out on the playoffs every year. Cam just said it today. On this day that we're recording this segment, it came out today that every team is good. There is no slouch. Not at all this year. Last year I thought, okay, there might be a slouch here and there. The year before I definitely thought it. This year there's none. Everybody is competitive.
Well, hell, think about it. Last year, Purge were, 7 in the power rankings?
They were 7 in the power rankings.
And ended up winning the division.
Right. Anything is possible in this league. Hell, the Kings could win the division. We don't even know yet.
That'd be fun to watch.
That would be
I'm not going to lie. I would love that. I would love every little piece of that to happen. I would love it.
I would hate it because
absolutely love it.
But, I mean, it would be awesome to see because I get proved wrong again. And like I said, I want the league to succeed more than anything. But, I mean, Josh is a workaholic. He'll go out there tonight work. He could have been pitching 2 hours ago. I just don't know. But with the stacked division like ours, I guess league now, division league, whatever we want to call it, do they keep them in long enough to stay in playoff contention? How long does it take until, Archers and Mojo, who I know no bias whatsoever, straight are the 2 best teams in the division? How long until they clinch a playoff berth? Week 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? How long do the Kings hold on?
Right.
So
the one thing I'll combat about it, and I mean, Sam alluded to it during the draft. We talked about it with the Kings podcast. Is there was a 3-week stretch there where the Kings were the number 1 team, and bottom line, Kings got better.
Yep.
With this draft, they got better. So I mean, it's the sky's the limit there. So,
but to be absolutely fair,
experience plays.
Experience
Ball don't
does
lie.
play. Ball does not lie. The Kings beat the 3 best teams in back-to-back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
But when was their next win?
Yep.
How many games did they win? 5?
Something like that, 5 and 12.
They beat the Melonheads twice. That was our last 2 wins of the season. The Melonheads were.
They did sweep them that night.
They swept the Melonheads.
Yep.
One of the worst teams in the existence of the franchise. Or the league, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's like I said, to be fair, on paper, no. But, when injuries happen and people don't show, unfortunately, it can drag a team down.
Again, I want to believe in the Kings. Just, how long do they last? That's all the question is.
Okay. I mean, the time will tell, and I
I'm
hope when
excited.
we redo this in the middle of the season, you and me are talking differently.
I would love to. I would love it.
It'd be awesome.
I would love it.
So let's go Mambas.
Yes.
What we got?
I gave Mambas a B+. I mean, they got Chandler, Caden, and Falcon. They got all the CI guys. Clean sweep. They swept the house with it. They added bats, and if they're full-time, who's going to be the number 2? I mean, does Caden come around in time, for the Mambas to also stick in contention? You obviously have Dutton at number 1. He's your ace. Cole's the face of the franchise. Cole can pitch, but if you know Cole, one night he'll be Greg Maddux. He'll hit every slurve, slider, and whatever he wants to throw you. Then the next night he can't even hit the board. That is Cole in a nutshell. He'll tell you straight up himself that's how he is. You just don't know what Cole you're going to get. But
so now he falls down to what would you say, that 3 or 4 pitcher?
I think he's he's obviously the 3 pitcher. They didn't really add, that big time arm. Like, I feel like
I don't know, man. I think Caden could step in and surprise some people.
Yeah, I mean, again, but does he take that turn fast enough is what I'm trying to get at. Can the Mambas hold on, squeaking by wins, and, how long does Dutton last? I mean, because James Dutton, Dutton is an excellent pitcher.
Right.
We talked to him about it. I thought he had a down year, but he actually had a pretty good year. It just wasn't talked about enough.
Yeah.
Do they win? How long do they last splitting series? Obviously Dutton isn't a free win. There's no free wins.
There is no more free wins, in my opinion. Not saying that there was, but I mean, you definitely had those nights where you're thinking, all right, cool, we could win this. This one's going to be a little bit easier than the other. That's not the case anymore all the way down the board.
Yeah. How long did the Mambas... It's the same thing with the Kings. I mean, the Kings can win get into the playoffs if the Mambas don't come around fast enough.
Right.
The Mambas can hit with anybody, but, if you're giving up 6 runs a game, it's so hard to put up 6 runs.
Right.
So.
Yep, I'll say that. I'll agree with that. What'd you say it was?
I gave it a B+.
B+?
Just because of they got all the CI guys, and because that ups their availability more.
I will agree with that one. All right, because of the fact that the if they get there the way that they can, and they gel quickly.
Yes.
And it's the more we're sitting here talking, the more I'm thinking this year might be a sprint, not a marathon. It might be a sprint to see who gets out in front and then who can maintain.
Yeah.
And I mean, in all reality, it's like you said, are they able to come around fast enough? I didn't think about that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love hearing that.
It's more like a, what's it called? Like, it's like a pace. Like a pace race.
Yeah.
You want to start off, at a good enough pace.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you want to hit on the afterburners. If you start out the season 5-0, and then it's like you dip, then it's like, oh well, now we're behind the 8 ball come playoffs. Now instead of getting a 1 seed, we're now the 6 seed. Now we got to go run the gauntlet.
Well, I'll put it this way: Purge lost 7 straight last year,
and they won the division,
and then they won out.
Yes, controversially they won out, but they won out.
We won out, all right?
Regardless of how it
bottom
happened.
line. Don't matter how you get to the dance. It's about how you get there.
Absolutely right. I agree.
Anything
100%.
can happen once you get in. Just get in.
Absolutely. 2 teams don't make the playoffs. I mean,
Right.
You have a higher % chance of making the playoffs than missing the playoffs in terms of just the simple math.
Right.
But with the way the league is and the way it's shaped and how it's going to look, it's going to be very difficult, even for a team like the Mojo, who I'll toot my own horn here, number 8 ranked team in the country. No, everyone knows it. Everyone knows. I don't even have to say anything. I mean, I'm tired of talking about it myself. I'm.
We're gonna have to talk about them one more time here about your team.
That's it. That's one more time. I just want to move on to 2025. I'm tired of talking about 24.
No, I meant about the draft. About your guys' draft grade.
Yeah, I'll talk about the draft, but I meant the team wise. I want to move on with it.
Gotcha.
But I mean, it's gonna be tough for us as well, and I can't wait for that.
So let's do Archers. So we got Archers. We got Archers and Mojo left.
Yes.
So let's start Archers.
Last two teams. Archers got an A+. There's two A+ teams, and the Archers got another one. I think, in my opinion, the Archers had a better draft because they drafted more players and got the A+, instead of just drafting two and hitting the obvious home run. Right. Archers had the best draft, in my opinion. They got James Klein at 3, which I think was not going to happen. I thought it was a small possibility going into draft day. I thought if Brody didn't go 1, I think you were going to trade out and you were going to try to trade back, gather more picks and stuff, kind of like the NFL, and he was going to go to 2 to the best buyer. But that didn't happen. Josh Wheeler took number 1. We all know how that happened. They got Drew Maurer and Coulter Rance in the second round. That's 3 good young arms added to this great hitting team. You still have Rory. You still have Tony. You still have J. Rich. You add James, who can hit. I don't know if Drew or Coulter can hit. You said Coulter could hit.
Just the video. I mean, I've watched video of both of them. I think both of them can hit. I think they replaced the arm in Jordan.
Yes.
I don't know about the bat
right.
of Jordan.
Yeah.
To be fair. I mean, in all reality, Jordan, just excellent vision at the plate.
I mean, he's one of the best for a reason.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to add on to the Archers, you still got to think of the variables. I mean, Tony and J. Rich are the most free swinger players in the league. I mean, if they think it's coming, that it's close, they're going to swing. Rory's very disciplined.
Yeah.
He's one of the best hitters in the league. But James can be a free swinger at times. I grew up with James. He's my cousin. So he can be a free swinger. If he's going to swing, he's going to swing as hard as he can. He's going to want to hit the scoreboard.
Yep. And
that can hurt you sometimes, physically and literally. It's going to hurt you in terms of the game, and if you swing a wiffle ball bat as hard as you can, you might pull something. So, but in terms of draft, A+.
Okay. So let's round it out. We already know about Ray.
Yes.
We already talked about it. I want to start from, what are you grading your guys, the Mojo, for this draft?
B-.
B-?
Yes. I say B- because, Ray Jaso is another bat. Ray has little experience with wiffle ball, only the Mo Wiff Midwest Classic. But if you know wiffle ball, you know the name Will Smithy. He is one of the best players in the nation, top 3 player in the nation. He was 2022 and 2023 number 1 player in the world, back to back. That doesn't happen often. I think this year he was ranked 2 or 3 behind Ryan McElrath and Ben Stant. And even that was controversial. I mean, he can rake. I mean, I've seen him in person. He wasn't 100% that day because he had to go pitch the next day at Circle City. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Ray took a riser to his calf or his ankle, and he almost took it out. He hit a triple off Will Smithy, which took them the lead, and basically sent them to the championship of that tournament, in which they won. He also plays fast pitch softball. If you don't know, you're like, what? It's like Jenny Finch, where they're throwing real hard. It's literally wiffle ball without the movement. He said it in his interview. You just put your bat out there and swing. So the hard part with the speed is already there in his brain. It's already developed because he plays fast pitch softball. You just have to account for the movement.
Right.
The guessing portion's there. So, and he's full-time. He can work from home. He can work online. He's going to drive 3 hours every week to play for the Mojo. That's exactly what we needed.
Okay. I love it.
I
love it.
That's my grades.
So, we'll go over real quick. Just run down again. Start with the National League, just grades only. All right. So, Thunderbirds, we got the A+.
Yes.
With the Melonheads, we gave them...
I gave the Melonheads a B.
B.
Bombers, B-.
Yep.
I gave the Purge a B. And then for the American, I gave the Kings a B-, the Mambas a B+, Archers A+, Mojo B-.
Gotcha.
Pretty fair grades all around. I think the most I really went into a draft was the Kings. Obviously you have the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
You're going to get judged just because you're number 1. That's just how it goes. I mean, look at every number 1 overall pick. But
it'll be fun to sit back and just legitimately talk about whether it's end of this year, next year, whatever.
Right.
Just ranking the number 1 picks of all time that we've had in this league. You know, that'll be fun. Something to put a pin in that for a segment. Maybe we do.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we do that later on in the year.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty neat. But no, man, I'm ready for the season to start.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the season starts now.
Yeah, I mean, we're over the draft. Free agency happens. We are.
How many days?
We're 55 days away.
55 days, Mr. Pat Ballman days away.
We are from the recording of this podcast. We are 55 days away from opening night. I mean, it's already marked in my calendar. My God, everything's ready. I mean, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Are you gonna miss me while I'm in Florida that week before?
Yeah, probably.
Prediction podcast coming from gonna be me in Florida.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be fun. I need to figure out.
We'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
We'll get it all figured out.
Yeah.
But no, man. Like I said, that does it for tonight.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We hope you guys appreciate it. We know we had fun. Hope you guys had just as much fun. Just all this is conversation, right? Mm-hmm. This is our opinions of everything. We're not trying to knock anybody. We're not trying to do anything. We're not trying to start anything. Obviously, just honest. Look at it. And just sit there and see what we got. And this is just how we feel, and these are our opinions. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But with that being said, I'm Brian Hunter. This is Quentin Meyer. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Peace out from Ball Brian.